Hi, we hope that you've been liking the videos that we've been putting up at asianphotographyindia.com. As you remember, in the July special issue, the trend special issue that we had for Asian photography, we had predicted some of the new technologies and features that will be hitting the market in the coming months or the coming years. One of the technologies and features that we had predicted about was the user interface of the smartphone coming onto the digital compact camera as well as the DSLRs. If you remember, a little while after that, Nikon announced the first Android camera, which was the Nikon S800c. This was soon followed up by the first DSLR, which featured the full-fledged touchscreen in the form of the Canon 650D. This then around September Photogena time, September 2012, is when Samsung announced the first Galaxy camera, which was the extension of the Galaxy smartphone brand. So today we actually have with us the Nikon Coolpix S800c, which as I already mentioned is the first touchscreen as well as the Android powered camera. So the aim and objective of this video actually is to give you an idea of how the smartphone user interface has integrated with the cameras today. Please try and understand that we are not trying to give you an idea of what the quality and performance of this camera is. The objective of this video is very simple. It's basically just to give you an idea about what the user interface of the camera is as compared to the smartphone. So let's dive into the camera and see what it actually can do. This is pretty much what the camera looks like. It's very much like your conventional compact camera. It is exactly the same from the front, but a big change you can see is actually on the top. The top doesn't feature too many buttons, which means that there is not a lot of clutter. It only features the shutter release button and the zoom in and zoom out button, apart from the on off button. But the major difference actually is where the back of the camera is. If you see, the back of the camera is very much like your touchscreen phone these days, and once you power it on is when you can actually see the Android interface coming alive. For anyone who's actually been using the Android OS, this feels exactly as home. You can see that the buttons over here are pretty much what like the Android phones feature these days. The unlock button is pretty much the same. The power of the OS button actually comes across in the widgets, including all the things that Android has to offer these days. What is very different from what the other conventional cameras that you see here is that you need to, in order to get into the shooting mode, is when you actually have to click onto the camera. Once you click onto the camera is where basically you start seeing the display. The display is very simple, very basic. Once you click onto the modes is where you actually see what are the different features that you can select at. For instance, if you actually want to shoot something new, then you just go here and you can actually toggle right and left to switch between the screens. Of course, the response of the touchscreen is not exactly like your smartphone, but it is very similar to what you would expect to be in your smartphone. Once you come back, so say for example, if I just want to click a picture, then I can actually shoot. I can use this, and if I just click a picture with this, then I have this picture. And now the beauty and one of the main features why this phone is actually very good is because it is capable of transferring pictures directly on through Wi-Fi or through email. So say for example, if I actually want to share this image with any of my friends, or if I want to email it, then it gives me options to actually share it through my mail or to anybody's email. It also gives me an option to Google Plus and Picasa. Of course, there is no direct integration of the S800c onto Facebook or social platforms, social media platforms, but what one can actually do is, if you just go back and if you get into the settings, then if you can see here, there is the Google Play Store, which is basically the Android market, where everybody can download where everybody can actually download the apps. I think we're having some connection issues with the Wi-Fi, so which is the reason why we're not able to get onto the Google Store, but one can actually download Facebook, Twitter, as well as any other apps which are available on the Android market, and that's how you can actually share your images with your friends. In order to highlight how simple this is, we will basically share one of the images that I just shot onto some email IDs, so that will give you a fair idea of how easy this is and what is the user interface of the smartphone which has actually come onto the compact camera. So here we basically click onto the gallery. If you see, the loading time is fairly decent. I mean, it's not something which is really whatever that slow or that bad. So this is the picture which I had actually just shot. So I click onto the menu, I just click onto share, I go onto Gmail. Now this is where, as you can see, I've already basically synced my Gmail account with the phone. It is giving me the option of whom do I want to send it to, and if I want to send it to any of the IDs, then I just type in the ID here and go like at gmail.com, and I just click on to next, and it asks me for the subject. If I want to say put in pics, and I go front, and it says if you want to compose a mail, if I want to, if I can, if I don't, and then I just go ahead, and if I do just do send, so it says send without the text body, okay, and as you can see it's sending message, and yep, voila, the messages are pretty much gone. So that's pretty much what the interface of the smartphone along with the Galaxy camera is. Another beauty about this camera is that once you sync your Google accounts with the camera, you can actually get a lot of your Picasa as well as web albums which are already here. As you can see, some of the albums that I've actually put on Picasa, you can actually already see here, which is basically from my personal folder. So overall the integration of the camera as well as the Android OS is very good. It not only allows you to just transfer images and things like that, it is pretty much like a full-fledged phone, except that you really cannot make calls. I can actually browse the internet using the phone as well, which as you can see it's already up and live. We can actually open any of the websites over here. You can surf on YouTube. There are special apps as well which can be used to surf YouTube as well. So I think that basically gives you an idea of what the phone is all about. We hope that you like the sneak preview of the Nikon S800c. Make sure that you read one of our upcoming issues for the full review, where we will be testing the image quality as well as the performance of the camera. We hope that you have a wonderful Diwali, and until next time, happy clicking.